And we're on YouTube. We made it. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? So, first affiliate show on YouTube. I figured it out. I managed it. Thank you for you guys for being here. We've got our usual suspects, McLeod and Toasty. Ellie couldn't make it, guys. I know most people do tend to tune in for Ellie. I get it. I get the spam as well. It happens. She knows it. She appreciates it. But instead today, guys, we are honoured to be joined by MrGM. Welcome, Dan. How are you doing?
Welcome.
Yeah, doing wonderful. How you guys doing?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it just fixing this stuff up and figuring out YouTube, which has been fun.
You're doing well, mate.
Which has been fun.
You're doing well. I've already lost the chat like twice in my windows. I'm not looking for one labeled YouTube. It's like, where's the Twitch one gone? But no, it's fine.
Everybody's looking for the Pepe Frog emotes and stuff and can't find them. Nothing.
Just smiley faces and stuff.
Smiley faces, really bad smiley faces as well. So today we're changing it slightly. We're talking more about what it is that we do and some of us are aspiring to do. And that is build ourselves up as either a streamer, a content creator, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube or any other medium. And whilst we're learning as we go, whilst we're trying to find our own way, as I say, we're joined with Dan today, who has been there, done that, and I say still doing it. Still trying to grow, still trying to get...
Apparently so, yeah.
And it's a little bit about... his journey, taking some of your questions. We've got a few questions of our own, and just about the differences that you found as you've grown, as you've gone from that McLeod 10 viewer Andy, as he just called himself, up to somebody that gets hundreds of views a day on their stream, looking at your analytics and things from YouTube and actually digging into that and trying to figure out what it is that you look for on a day-to-day basis as a content creator. So that's pretty much where we're at, guys. So Dan, what started you off with getting involved with YouTube or Twitch? How did you get going?
So the year was 2011. Yeah, so I feel like a grizzled old vet at this point, but yeah, I was just I was watching a lot of like World of Warcraft stuff. So I was watching like Total Biscuit, I was watching Wow Hobbs, people like that, and I was just like, oh man, this is really cool. And at the time, I was how do I keep this TOS? I was doing like World of Warcraft TOS, obviously. I was playing undocumented servers at the time, let's say. And I was like, oh, there's no one making videos for these undocumented servers. And I thought, and I really liked video creation. Like when I was younger, much like many other people, probably we made like Jackass videos.
So I would we'd film it, I'd fully edit it, and we also did all right. We also did trampoline wrestling. All right.
Yes.
Don't judge.
Nice.
Yes.
And that was 5-star frog splash onto the trampoline.
Yeah, exactly. Jumping off the shed onto the trampoline. And we filmed it. Oh, I still have the videos from like 2005 where we would capture it on this video camera, and that's how I kind of learned how to video edit on Windows Movie Maker, which is hilarious.
Nice.
So yeah, I just did that. I really like video. I always wanted to do like video creation as a job. I always had like a passion for it. So I went to college to do it. I also failed that. So that's really good. So don't do that. So then I just started making these WoW videos with Windows Movie Maker I used Windows Movie Maker for 5 years. And all of the like first like building up of the channel, probably the first like 25,000 subs were through Windows Movie Maker, and using the microphone, right? It was not some fancy, HyperX thing or whatever, right? It was the iToy. Do you remember the iToy in the PS2?
Yeah.
The microphone from
that
microphone from that camera. That's what I used.
That's badass.
What?
Okay.
And,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's how you start YouTube in 2011. And
it worked though. It worked.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I did videos for years and years and years, and didn't get really. I mean, I got places, but I didn't. It wasn't like blowing up or anything like that. It was kind of like a casual. I mean, I didn't go full time until 2017, I think, or 2018. So it took a while to get into it.
Yeah. 5-6 years.
But it was a lot of like evolving and learning stuff. Now I use, I'm a fancy Andy. I use Premiere Pro and cool microphones, little mixer things, and
Yeah.
it's all kind of the same.
All expensive things I dream of.
Go XLRs and all
Yeah,
sorts.
literally. Show me your ways.
But yeah, so that's really it. Really, it just kind of went from 2011. At the time I was working full time for McLaren Automotive, so I was just coming home from work and then doing a video and then like going to bed, or like I didn't start streaming for a long time. The whole video creation was the thing for the longest time. I didn't start streaming till 2016, I think, on YouTube, and I was streaming there for a while. But yeah, I never, at the time, I had no ambitions to become a streamer. I always just wanted to make videos, just easy. You don't have to talk to anyone, because especially back then, it's way better to have a video with no views and no comments than have a stream with nobody in. And because at least then you're not sitting there just kind of like, what do we do? So I was lucky enough to have that following on YouTube when I started streaming. So when I started streaming, there were people there. So it was kind of lucky, really. But it's pretty rare these days to get that. But yeah, I was pretty fortunate in that regard. But still doesn't mean that, like, I didn't get instant views. Like, as I was saying before, like YouTube's chat, super quiet compared to Twitch. So I streamed on YouTube for ages, got really good views. Like at the time, like it was like 150 to 200 views. I was like, this is incredible. But like the chat was like nothing. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Crazy compared to because I was watching Twitch as well, obviously at the time, and just watching like people similar sizes, their chat just popping off, people going mad. I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
I'm switching.
So, did you think was that one of the things that spurred you to move over to Twitch, or was there anything else that led you to think, nah, Twitch is the place to be? Was it just the nature of Twitch being, as people see, that the #1 streaming platform?
I was scared to move over to Twitch. Really, that's kind of where it came down to. Because at the time, well, the interesting thing that I kind of got not forced, but it got to a point where I was making videos, which would get me subs, but then I would stream, which would lose the people who subbed for the videos, but I would get subs through the stream. So my sub numbers would go like up and down constantly, because I'd get people that sub for the streams and people that sub for the videos, and then like there wasn't too much of a crossover there. So I was kind of killing myself with it, like it was like destroying the channel, or not really going anywhere. I was sort of like really just kind of still. So I started dual streaming to kind of test the waters. So I was just like streaming on YouTube, but also dual streamed with, I don't know, Restream. I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
It certainly is. There's all debates about Restream, whether it's any good, whether you should do it, whether you shouldn't do it. You definitely, well, I mean, TOS wise, you shouldn't do it as an affiliate. So I wasn't an affiliate for a long time. I had the offer was there, but I didn't want to do it because I was dual streaming. So I didn't want to go affiliate until I was like, okay, Twitch. Because what I would do during the stream would be like, yo, we're also on Twitch. Go watch us on Twitch. Go follow on Twitch and stuff, because we're going to move over eventually. And that's kind of what I did throughout those streams. That was like Battle for Azeroth Alpha, I think. Oh no, Legion 7.5. So it was probably about 2017. So when I went full time, I was streaming on YouTube and making videos on YouTube. No, I was both. Yeah, I was on YouTube fully, and then I moved over like a couple months later. But yeah, it was tough. It was really tough, and Twitch. Yeah. It sucked for a long time, like a very, very, very long time. I feel like
with Twitch recently, it's already some sort of got quite mainstream, where it wasn't, I believe, back in sort of 2017, 16, definitely. It was like some people knew about it, but it was like its own community. But now it's like there's YouTube videos with Twitch and all this sort of stuff all coming out, and it's obviously got a lot bigger recently than it has been. But even like with the YouTube boom, like when you started 2011, that was really early sort of YouTube days, like.
It was
like
back when,
when it was it was the content creation wasn't really a thing. It was just funny videos. You used to watching cat memes and all this sort of stuff.
Cat memes, videos, that's
literally like.
I was an eBounds World guy. I loved going on there and seeing all that sort of stuff before then. I don't know if anybody remembers eBounds World.
eBounds World, I remember that. Yeah,
back in the day. Crazy. But so did when you moved over, did you, once you've been on Twitch? Since you've been on Twitch, should I say, was that kind of it for you? You never had any thoughts of either go back to YouTube or Mixer?
I had thoughts of going back to YouTube as as recent as the beginning of this year.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Because essentially we had the classic WoW launch, which was amazing. I think I was in Vegas for it with you know Method. But
we done a whole stream about that.
TOS, no.
Yeah, I was over there with them, and that was amazing. And then the stream blew up. You know, we were getting like crazy numbers with classic, but you know, a whole load of stuff happened in game, which kind of completely killed it for me for classic. But I play it now just off stream. I don't stream that. It's terrible. People,
No,
it's terrible on that.
It's not fun to stream, is it?
But I don't want to get into that. That was awful. I was actually close to quitting streaming from all of that. That was awful.
Really?
Was
it,
yeah.
Is it a stream snipey thing?
Yeah. There was like
classic.
a whole
I
crew.
remember the hype. Like,
There was a whole crew of like a whole guild that would make it their like passion every day that I streamed to kill me constantly, and I couldn't actually play the game. And it was just awful, and like it was just like super shit on my mental health, because I was like, I felt guilty because I was trying to make a good stream, but I can't make a good stream when you're just getting constantly harassed from these people.
Yep.
And on top of that, when they killed me, they would spam the N-word.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Okay.
So
you're becoming like a meme, and it's like I'm just trying to stream, man.
yeah, so that sucked.
like,
but
did
the
it
stream
then-
did really well out of the classic launch, but then it kind of just completely dropped off a cliff. I mean, we were talking at some point, like at the very worst, like towards like the end of last year and the beginning of this year, we were around about like 20-30 viewers.
It's like us now. Yes, go affiliate show. It means we can make it.
We can make it.
But it's I mean, it's tough for me because you know, it's my only income.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
of course.
obviously.
Yeah.
So that
of
was like
course, yeah.
really, it was a really fucking. We allowed to swear?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, go
Oh,
for it.
brilliant! Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm Scottish. You can say whatever you like.
I'm surprised I've been able to hold my tongue this long, actually.
Yeah, it was
part
just
of our
it was-
vocabulary.
But yeah, no, it was just awful. So I was still like doing I was still doing the YouTube stuff. The YouTube was doing really well at the time, which is great. You know, that was kind of keeping me afloat. But yeah, it was just a weird thing. And then I started. It was funny. I just like in my head, I thought of this idea that honestly I kind of equate a lot of the kind of growth that I've had recently to is I would always do the video, and then at the end of the video I'd be like, yo, you know, I'm streaming on Twitch. But you think like by that point people have dropped off, you know, there's not that many people watching the video at that point. So what I started doing was I would start the video and be like, yo, we're going to talk about this, but first let me thank my sponsor. And if I didn't have a sponsor bit, I'll just say it's the Twitch.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, check me out on Twitch.
Yeah.
And genuinely, like, because of, you know, and at that point, you know, nowadays it's good because you get a good view, you know, you get a video on YouTube that does really well, a lot of people are going to come jump over. So it's kind of a good combination of things. So that kind of worked for me, honestly. As much,
Yeah.
I still get comments now like, "Oh my god, Twitch is sponsoring YouTube," like stupid people that think it's actually serious, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, no,
Even if they're
exactly.
saying that, they're still thinking about it, and then they're thinking, right, he's got Twitch. You know,
He's
maybe
got
I'll go
Twitch.
check him out. You know?
Or somebody's
No such
mentioned
thing
it
as
in a
bad-
comment, which
bad
means somebody
publicity.
else that's maybe missed that in the video has then seen that in a
Exactly.
comment, and you know, yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
it's stupid, but it works. Like it's you
Mm,
know,
mm.
that's how it is.
Have you ever?
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Have you ever thought about is it always just been World of Warcraft for you, or have you ever thought about? I mean, I know everybody in the world seems to be playing Fall Guys right now, so we're not going to say that. But like, have you ever thought about like you know other games
Insert
or other
popular
pieces of
game here.
content, or is that a worry? Because I know even as a small streamer, I would get reasonable views for World of Warcraft stuff, but if ever I tried something else, it would just go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's a thing. Yeah, I get really scared and kind of anxious about doing other stuff. As much as I have like a committed viewer base that will come whatever. They're like, oh yeah, we'll watch whatever you do. But in reality, a lot of Twitch is workers. You get like the good boys and girls who come in every day and they're like, hi Dan, how's it going? Like, oh hey, But there, a good percentage of people are people that never talk or do anything. They just watch the stream for potentially the content that I'm doing or potentially just me. But you don't know because they never talk, and I don't blame them for not talking. You get hundreds of
Not
viewers,
obliged.
but then an active chat is maybe a couple, 50 or so. But yeah, I mean, I've tried. So during those dark days, I was playing. I tried out Star Wars: The Old Republic, I think.
Nice.
So that wasn't bad. The viewership was really good. I actually became, it's not a very huge game on Twitch, but I actually became the biggest streamer for like a couple of weeks. It's kind of funny.
Hey.
And I was getting better numbers with that than I was at WoW at the time. I also streamed the Call of Duty launch because it was all kind of a weird thing where I was like, I kind of liked Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I'm terrible at games. So, but Blizzard emailed me. They're like, yo, Dan, do you want this? I was like, well, I guess.
Sure. I'll take it.
They're like, you know,
Nice.
they said you don't have to stream it, but you can stream it if you want. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, I streamed the launch of that. That was fun. Yeah, as I
Nice,
said, terrible
nice.
at games. But yeah, for
But
the most part,
hilarious.
it's just WoW. Like maybe, you know, here and
Mm.
there I'll try something different, but I kind of
Mm.
I get a bit anxious about it. And I'm like, oh
Yeah, I can imagine. And as it sounds like you played WoW for a very long time. Like obviously,
yeah,
like
yeah,
9,
grizzled
10
old
years,
vet,
like,
remember?
Is that
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
are you one of those vanilla boys?
Yeah, 15 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just after myself. I can't say I was one of those guys.
Lucky few.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's that really. But I don't know. I would love to do variety and stuff. Like you
Mm.
mentioned Fall Guys, but like some of the games that I've been playing, like off stream, I'm like, oh, you know, I could probably play this on stream. But I get worried about people leaving. I was more worried about it on YouTube because
Yeah.
people like, would
Yeah.
be more
I
likely
suppose,
to
as you
leave.
say, it's since your full time income, it's like, do I want to take that risk? Is it worth it? Like to get the
Yeah.
drop? Like and then you don't want to just become variety, but then you're trying to find a point where, well, can I fit all my WoW stuff in and then try new games and do other things? So I'm assuming there's like a routine you've got going through the week anyway, like with what you do on WoW and things. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like if I was to stream something else, it would be like at a different time slot. I kind of stream during like the day UK time or like degenerate US time or like super late Australia time. It's kind of like that. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
So if I was to stream
Tell me
another
about it.
game, it would be like now, like at like 8 o'clock at night or something. Just to
Yeah,
kind of set the
yeah,
hours
yeah.
and
Yeah.
do whatever.
That's-
I-
you,
I was
you meant
Curious.
sorry,
Oh, sorry.
no, crack on, man.
Oh no, I was just going to ask because you were mentioning times there. I was wondering if you had a particular geographic that comes to your streams. Do you get like the Anglophile effect where they come for the accent, or do you find it sort of
Yeah.
pretty generic?
It's abroad. Like, yeah.
It's funny actually because we were literally talking about this today about the accent thing. So many Americans think I'm Australian. They love that. I don't know.
I get
why.
Irish.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Irish.
Yeah, I get Irish.
You're not Irish,
Nice,
Tariq?
nice.
Apparently not.
Yeah, so as I said, like I stream at midday UK time, so a lot of my audience is EU. A lot of people at work, they're like, I'm at work watching you. Haha. I'm like, I wish I used to
Yeah.
watch. Wish I could watch Twitch at work. Christ.
Yeah, literally, I know, right? Where do
I
they
was
work?
blocked in my
Jeez.
old work, but yeah. So you get people at work, you get degenerate US, as I mentioned. It's just like people who are up like super late, like it's 3 a.m, but I'm still awake. I'm like, all right,
Thanks.
You're not obliged to stay. You can go to sleep. Like,
and then
and just watch.
and then Australians. But I mean, realistically, I'm kind of a shoot myself in the foot because a lot of my audience is American. I mean, I think it's like something crazy, like 46% or something is
Oh,
American.
really? Wow.
It's a
Wow,
lot,
yeah.
but honestly, like the thing is with the World of Warcraft section specifically, is we have this like he's a good friend of my friends, right? He's called Asmongold, Zach. Very good streamer,
Oh.
super entertaining. I really
Yeah,
enjoy
I
his
know
streams. But
Mm.
the thing is with Asmon is he takes up a lot of the viewership of the WoW section. Like I mean, if he
Yeah.
streams, like there's no one even close to it. Like the closest streamer to like he gets around 40 to 50,000 views.
Yeah.
And the
Crazy.
streamer closest to
Crazy.
him is probably around like 7K, if that.
Yeah.
Like
So
SN or something,
as
like
soon as he
7,
comes
8K,
on, you'll
like-
just see a massive dive
Yeah.
in viewership, and that's I'm not blaming him for that. I'm absolutely not blaming anyone for that. That's just how the WoW section works.
Well, there's
And,
always one top streamer in one category, right? It's just one of them
But
things, isn't
he-
it?
Oh, yeah.
he's got a grip of it.
Yeah, a massive hold of it. Like,
But
and
it's-
that's
it's
so long.
Even we were talking about variety stuff, and you mentioned Asmongold there. Even he wants to do other games and wants to branch out and is worried about losing viewership. And I think as a small streamer, you think, man, if I had 50,000 viewers and it went down to 25,000, I'd be fine. It wouldn't bother me. But I guess it's all
it's
when you've got it, you obviously don't want
it's
to
that
lose
pressure,
it.
isn't it?
And
It's like you think it's like 50,000.
you mentioned a couple of times about sort of anxiety and your own mental health when doing things. How has that? Tell me to fuck off if you want. How has that affected you in terms of growing from, as you say, the dark days and coming up? Do you feel that you have to work harder at making sure that you're aware of your own mental health now than you did before, or do you think things have got easier? If that makes sense.
I've kind of just got the routine down, honestly. Like after so long, people expect me to be on at a certain time and stream for a certain amount of time, put out X amount of videos each week and stuff. And I don't work. I don't work weekends. I literally don't even touch the PC. Very rarely I will go on the PC, and if I do, I'll be playing something else with some friends or something. But literally, as soon as it comes to Friday, I finish the stream. That's it, right? I don't play. I don't make videos. I don't do anything. I just kind of go off and go outside. I know, right? And
Now we're allowed to.
What is this?
But it's good though, because it gives me like an escape from it. Because I know I have friends that stream every single day, and they're like just terrible. Like they just feel terrible about it. Like, they're just like they're so tired and worn out and burnt out and stuff. And it gives me something to look forward to on Monday, right? So I'm like, I finish stream Friday. I have a weekend, then Sunday night I'm like, oh sweet, I got a stream tomorrow, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So and then I'll start thinking of like ideas, and I come in, fresh faced, bushy tailed, all happy and excited for the stream, while other people are there every single day, just like, welcome back to day 56.
Yeah. Day 90 of the apocalypse. Like.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone ever say that before. Yeah. I like that way of looking at it, that way of managing your time.
Well, I think
my next question is like, has it tainted WoW like for you, like doing sort of streaming it full time and obviously only streaming through the week and having your weekends off, as it say? Like, do you struggle with playing it for enjoyment, like on your own, not streaming? Like, has it sort of tainted your experience?
It's funny actually. I tend to not do anything like overly fun in WoW because I feel guilty that I'm taking content away from the stream. But I do still play it off stream. But I found recently, like as I said about Classic, like the whole streaming Classic ruined it for me. But I came back to Classic not streaming it. Like I don't have any plans to stream it, but I still play it, and it's a nice little kind of escape from
escapism.
Retail WoW. It's a bit different. It's something fun, and it's like some of the stuff is so mundane and boring. Like it's not fun stream content. So I'll just like stick another stream on in the background or a video or something, and just kind of do whatever.
And save like good things for obviously streaming. Like
pretty much.
Nice.
Did you ever want to just jack it all in and then just go and get a proper job?
Yeah.
No, I already done that. I've retired from real work. I'm gonna milk this till I'm 80.
Well, that's. I've thought about that. I've thought about that. It's when you are going to get these, a lot of grizzly old 70-year-old streamers that are, it's going to be great. I can't wait till that point of time arrives, where you've got
70, 80, like
you'll
play some Call of Duty.
Asmongold's still getting called Malding. Preach is still bald, like all these guys that are like really old, and I can't wait for that shit. That's going to be great. That'll be awesome.
I mean, I worked a normal job I worked in some terrible jobs. Geez, I used to work in when I was really young. When I was like 15, I worked in Burger King, which was the worst ever.
Nice.
I hated every second of that. And then I worked in a petrol station, which was also terrible. And then I worked in McLaren for 5 years, doing 40-hour weeks, and working every some weekends here and there, and it was tough to do both, like the YouTube stuff and the whole story with me going full time is kind of interesting, I guess, if you wanted to hear that.
Please. Well, I was going to ask, like, do you know the transition? Do you remember? Did you just take the plunge and think, right, I'm just going to quit and just dive in?
No. It was mostly because my parents wouldn't let me do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, they were that's not a real job. This isn't a real job.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, here's the thing. Like, it come down to a point where I was getting a fair wage from my old job at McLaren, and I really enjoyed the people I worked with, but I fucking despised the job. It was so boring because I had nothing to do. So all day I would if someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, Dan, can you do this?" I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, do it," and then I'd have nothing to do. And so all I would do with my time was making thumbnails and writing scripts for my videos and thinking up ideas for the stream and doing different art and whatever, like background stuff while at work.
Nice.
it got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm not earning more than I am now, but if I was to commit X amount, these 40 hours that I spend at McLaren into this, could I make it work? It's and I was like, it was the dream, right? I called it the full-time dream for a long time. It was years and years in the making. And I I'd think about it, and I was like, right, so if I was full-time, would I set an alarm or anything? And and it was really just a kind of thing on myself, like, am I motivated enough to actually do it? Because you really gotta, you're freaking working in your bedroom, right? It's like my bed is there.
Get up and go to work.
So and you're on the computer that has all your games, and I guess you are playing games. So making videos isn't playing games; it's making videos about games. But so it come down to it, and I spoke to my manager about it, and he was like, "Yo, we'll have a meeting," and we had a meeting, and he was like, "You can go part-time." He goes, if you go part-time and you can do this, you can do YouTube stuff part-time as well. And I thought, nah. I said, I'm just going to go. And after, 5 or 6 years, I think it was, when I was there, I didn't quit. I worked my notice and everything, but it was tough. It was really hard, and it was freaking scary.
Yeah, really scary. I can imagine. It's like you told me yourself, it's like, shall I have the security, or shall I try the risk and do it? And sometimes doing the risk, obviously, it pays off.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's not been easy, especially not. There was definitely some times where I was like, oh, I might need to borrow some money from my mom or anything like that. But I mean, it's been good for the most part, and I still don't set an alarm.
Do you still sort of do you struggle to find content? Obviously, if you've got to fill I'm assuming maybe 6-7
so there's
hours,
you can't see it on your stream, but I'm sure you could see it. There's actually a whiteboard there.
Oh yeah.
That I jot down little video ideas on. With the stream stuff, I'll literally just maybe an hour before I'll be like, okay, what we can do on stream. I'll be like, okay, we'll do this.
That's it. Drag that out for 8 hours.
There's always plenty to do. There's always plenty to do in WoW, especially now
with community.
WoW's a good game for that as well. There's so many different little nuances to it and bits and pieces that you can do. I've enjoyed some of the bits and pieces that you're doing. I think you're taking a slightly different angle to beta than some other guys are doing. You're looking to like, what can I break in here today? It's like,
I like that though.
How can I level up to there and ruin dungeon leveling for everybody? Apparently,
I had a lot of people hating me for that. Jeez.
Yeah.
I think I saw something on your Twitter, and I do not have the knowledge to understand what he was upset at, but he seemed very upset about it.
People were very, very angry about me finding bugs and for them to fix. But it's funny, really, because I've kind of got it down to, I guess, to toot my own horn, I guess, a little bit. I've got it down to kind of an art with the video making, because I used to write out, when I was at McLaren, I used to write a whole script, a whole script for a video. Every moment of this video was on paper and I could read it out and whatever, right? And now, so for example, the video I did yesterday, I think, I didn't even open a document. I just made it, I just recorded it. I don't write anything down. For example, if I'm gonna, so I did a video about everything coming in the pre-patch. I literally, because I play it so often and I experience all that stuff, I just wrote a list of stuff, and that's it. And that's all I went, all right, I'm going to talk about this, and this, and then I'm just going to talk about it. And then, in Audacity, I'm just going to cut out the bits where I'm like, and then make it, and I'll make it sound like I'm just talking about the whole thing. And, people don't I've said to people about that before. They're like, no way. They're like, you script your videos. I'm like, genuinely, I just talk, and streaming's really helped that as well, because you just talk shit all day. Yeah. So that kind of helps a lot.
But it just talk out your thoughts, right?
It just makes it way easier, and I've kind of got myself into a routine where I will, because before what I'll do is make a video in the morning, and then as soon as that video's done, I'd go live. But now what I do is I'm going live at 12. If, however far along with that video I am, I'll stop and then go live and then finish it in the evening or the next morning or whatever, so that I always have a consistent stream schedule, and the videos can just kind of be sprouted whenever they want.
Is there anything in terms of whether it's the content creation process itself or streaming in general that you wish you'd kind of known before you went full time than you do now? Is there anything like that, or before you started?
Yeah. There's a lot of like different bits and pieces I do in Premiere Pro that I've learned since I started, like how to do stuff a lot faster than I used to,
Yeah, I'm slow at
and
that.
just streaming in general as well. Like if I watch back my old streams, I'm like super. I don't know. I just don't really read the chat. I'm just kind of like there, like quite like.
Yeah.
And the one thing about streaming is that you'll be so like if I go like I do it myself. You go into someone's stream, and if there's too much silence, if they're not talking, you'll just go off. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. So I make a point
Yeah.
to just keep on talking. Like, who cares
Yeah.
what you're going to talk about? Just keep on talking. Just make noise. If there's no viewers, just talk. Say what you think. That's kind of the advice that I say to people with lower viewerships is just say what you think. If you're playing something and you go, oh, this is interesting, just say it. Like, it's it's a good way. But for me, I'm lucky enough to have like a chat that's quite active, and I kind of promote that active chat because I reply to everyone, right? Or at least everyone who's nice, I'll reply to. So people are more engaged to like say hi or whatever because they'll know like, oh yeah, he's actually going to reply. Whereas some streamers will not read the chat, or they'll read like bits, but like they won't read it out loud or whatever. But for me, I just I keep the conversation going.
Are you worried?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
No, you go for it. You look like you were really going in there, McLeod. Crack on.
I was ready for that one. No, I was going to ask. Assuming there is going to be this upward trend, are you worried there's going to become a point where that chat is too active to follow? Just physically impossible to play a game and read every message.
I would hate it. I really would.
Really?
I'd really, really hate it because at one point at Twitch, when you get big enough, your chat just becomes a laugh track or a reaction track.
It
just
comes as a unit. Yeah.
Yeah, I would really hate that. I'd find that really lonely. Because I love talking to the chat. So I think where we're at now, I think we're averaging like 350, I think, or something this month. It's been freaking nuts.
Yeah, I
think that's a good point.
Some of those spikes are crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've had hosts from like Preach, for example. Like Preach would host me like say 4,000 people, and the chat would be ballistic when they come in, obviously because they're all excited. But then it will kind of level out, and it's fast but manageable. You can kind of nitpick and see the ones that are like important and stuff. Yeah, and if I miss anything, like if Matey's given me his life story, I'll have to scroll up and read it. But
have a read. Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
You say you'll try and talk to all of them, the nice ones anyway. See, with trolls and assholes that you get in chat, even as somebody that gets maybe 20, 30 viewers a stream, I'll still get a few assholes, right?
Of course,
as everybody does. Do you find that it affects you at all more now than it did before, or before did you ever have any issues with it? That because you might have like the way I see it, sometimes I'll have a stream of nice compliments or good things, but for some reason like I'll pick out the one that calls you a Scottish asshole, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking to?
You remember that
I was like, I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? You'll pick out that one, and I think maybe because obviously my chat is going to be a lot slower than yours, that one stands out a lot more. Do things still stand out to you, like in that regard?
Yeah, I think it's human nature to focus on the negative. I don't think we can help it really. I mean, I do the same with YouTube. I'll have 1,000 good comments and 3 bad ones, and I'll focus on the bad ones. Even though the majority of them are good. But I find it now. Some of the like people who come in and say bad things, I turn them into content, right? And I will specifically target them and show their logs and laugh at them.
That makes sense. Yeah,
and everyone laughs with me, and it makes them feel like a dick, right?
Yeah,
for
exactly.
being a dick.
Yeah.
So you just make a point and hopefully teach them a lesson. Because sometimes people will say stuff in people's chat where it's a bit faster, and they'll think that they won't see it. Not me.
Yeah. Scroll up like Louis. Oh, I see what you saw there.
I'm coming back to that.
Yeah, there's some people like one thing I do a lot is some people will come in like I'm, as I said before, very terrible at games, right? Very terrible at WoW as well, and I admit that, and I don't care. So someone will come in, and I think this even happened today. Someone said, "Oh, nice rotation you've got there," and I was playing a hunter, which I don't normally play, and I honestly like with the way that I run the stream is the rotation and the way that I play the game is like so low on the priority list. Like responding to chat, looking at chat, concentrating on chat, talking to them or whatever is like, that's what I'm going to be doing. And, I'll just be kind of like, autopiloting it. Anyway, the dude come in, he's like, oh yeah, noise rotation, kind of saying like, you're really bad at the game. So I just got his logs up and I like looked at what he'd said before. And I'm like, well, if you want, dude, I can give you the stream key, and you can play on my stream if you want. If people want to play, if you want to see some extreme, good gameplay or whatever.
There was that's actually really funny that you said that, because who was I watching? Oh no, I was linked to it. Somebody said you might like it. I don't tend to watch him often, but I was linked this, and I watched a bit of Destiny's stream. He was on one of the. In fact, no, he was on the Scuff podcast. That was it, which is a crazy show. And they were talking about what he wants to do is do a show where he gets 3 or 4 big content creators or big streamers and go to one of these streamers that's like, the small 3, 4, 5, 10 viewers that are like, oh, if I had those views, I'd be able to nail it. I'd be able to deal with the chat. I'd be able to deal with all that. They're just lucky, blah, 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 and just host them all at once. Like get be like him and all the other people, like multiple tens of thousands of views streamers to just host them all at once and say, there's 100,000 people, go. How do you deal with it? I'm like, I mean, that's not going to be good for some poor guy's mental health either, is it? But that'd be hilarious.
But it's funny. I mean, a lot of people aspire to have that, and I really, I try my best to host people that are lower down. Like I have people, I mean, you see in the chat there, Nicholas is one of my viewers. He's been a really, he's been a great guy in the chat for a long time, and he started streaming recently. And I drop him a host, I'll, if he's streaming, I'll be like, yo, he's sitting at like, I don't know, like 5 to 10 views. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll send like 350 people his way. He'll be fine. And like, it's
you come back 10 minutes later, everything's on fire.
Everything it's gone to pot.
It happens a lot. I have a lot of friends that I really prefer like watching smaller streamers. Like I love it, dude. Like 20 to 50 is kind of like golden spot where you have like a good little chat. I really, really do enjoy that. And a lot of my friends who, I've met through my stream have, and as I said, like they've started streaming. I support them as much as I can. But I've had people like, I had a dude recently that messaged me asking to become friends. Right. And I'm like, what? The fuck? And it was this massive message. And he was like, yo, I've seen you stream and stuff. And I was wondering if we could like, start a relationship, networking / friendship, and we can support each other's streams and stuff. And I'm like, and I replied to him and I said, yo, dude, because I wasn't going to reply, but then I did. So I felt guilty. So I was like, okay. So I said to him, this is probably the worst way of going about it. Like, you don't become friends with someone. Like, imagine walking up to someone in the street and be like, hello, can I be your friend? Like how?
Twitch friends.
No, you can't. Get away from it.
So it's just not, these things happen naturally. If he was in the chat and he was interacting, he was being a good guy and whatever, and stuff, then yeah, of course, But yeah, so I messaged you back saying this is the worst way of going about it. I appreciate the message and all that stuff, but this is not, if you want to grow your stream, this is not a good look. Like, it really isn't. And he messaged me back, like, telling me that I'm an arsehole. I'm like, fuck, dude.
I thought we were friends.
He was like, yeah. He was like, he was like, you should think about the way that you act in public. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Who is this guy?
Are you watching me in public too as well?
And then I went, I thought, oh fuck it, I'm gonna look him up. So I looked him up, and he's one of those one of those follows for follows, support small streamers kind of guy. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, dude.
Well, I know Saruk's got questions about that, haven't you, Saruk?
Well, no, it's not questions. I just like to rant about it. So when I started yeah, those two guys know, they're like, oh fuck, here he goes.
Jesus.
When I started streaming and stuff, and I went on Twitter and I started doing bits and pieces, very quickly you'll get people following you and saying, come and join this group. It'll be
that was what he wanted. That was what I looked it up. That's what he wanted me to do. I'm like, no, I'm fine.
I think I probably know who his name was.
I'm just thinking.
And there was this group that we went in. It was all follow for follow and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, guys, listen, I'm not really interested in that. I was like, I'm fine to check you guys out, and if I like you and I like what you're doing, I'll follow you. I've got no issues with that. You know, that's cool. And I got slated.
yeah.
This is how I met these guys, to be honest. Is they were
Yeah,
there, and
yeah,
they messaged
literally.
me going, "I like that," because I ended up just having a big rant
Yeah,
about it. I was
we all
because
left him.
what y'all-
like, nope,
it seems to be what you end up with. And I mean, I'm in a couple of Discords that are with streamers and stuff, and that's quite good to kind of dip into for like maybe ideas or inspiration and things. But what I tend to find is that everybody's streams are just filled with the same 10 to 15 people.
Yep.
You know, and it's just streamers watching streamers. And then if one person's streaming, they'll have all the viewers. But if 3 of them are streaming, then they're all split between them all. And and it's just nobody's building a community. They're just stuck in a little bubble. And I think that's what I'm trying to do, and that's one of the reasons why I moved over to YouTube, was to try and see if that works in terms of discoverability, because I'm starting to enjoy the content creation process, like actually making videos and actually figuring that out. Don't look at them if you want, but don't dislike it. It'll make me feel bad. I'm trying to learn Premiere Pro as well. I'm trying to learn After Effects, which is a whole nother thing.
Ever use
I
that?
love pressing about in After Effects.
I'm enjoying learning it though. You know.
Yeah. So here's a hot take, I guess,
Mhm.
and I'm sorry if it offends anyone.
No.
I
go for it, dude.
absolutely despise the hashtag support small streamers. Now, it's not because of the way that people do it. It's calling yourself a small streamer is not the way to go about it, right? You call yourself a small streamer. At what point are you going to be a big streamer? Are you going to be a small streamer forever?
Yeah.
Is there levels? You know, how does it work? You know, if you're going to
yeah.
pigeonhole yourself into being a small streamer, that's not a good marketing thing. You know, that's saying
No, it's not a great start, is it?
Viewers, do you want to come view?
Hashtag crap builder. You know, like if you were So which hashtag are you up to now, Dan? Are you a hashtag big streamer? Are you hashtag Neil
I'm
big,
hashtag,
hashtag big
top
streamer
1%.
community?
Top 1%. Yeah, me and the 1%ers, we just host each other. We're like,
right, you know. Or you
All in search for that blue tick dick on Twitter. Yeah, I get it.
yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I always felt like that, like calling yourself a small streamer is not a good way to go about it at all. You know, fake it till you make it, I think the term is. And obviously, don't fake it so much that you like buy views and followers, whatever. But don't act like the big cheese. You know, be like, yo, we're going live now with this and whatever. Like, even if you have like 10 to 40 viewers or whatever, you know, still just
do it.
You know, do it. Yeah, just don't call yourself.
It's an event.
Exactly.
It's not a good look, really. That's I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. That's just kind of how I feel about it.
No, I
think it is.
No,
and weirdly it is an unpopular opinion, and I don't understand why. Because that we've had that very conversation where it's you know, at what point? Yeah, as you see, what point do you become hashtag medium streamer? You know, hashtag not small streamer anymore. It's just silly, and you're not getting building any sort of community. You're not building any sort of following or actually engaging with people because they like you. Yeah, it's all meant to be reciprocal. You know, I'm not following you unless you follow me, and you're like, I don't care, man. You follow if you want. I'm not arsed. It's cool.
But I guess, you know, with that being said, I couldn't imagine anything worse than starting streaming now. My God, especially with no like YouTube or anything, or like literally just starting from, you know, OBS on, you know, sort of thing. Like let's do this. That is hard. Like that's hard.
Well, I was going to ask, like, what's your like preferred way of networking? Have you sort of figured out like a sort of nice routine now? Obviously, I'm assuming you've got your Twitter, your YouTube. Do you use Instagram? Do you have like Snapchat, all that sort of stuff?
Well, I've just got the premium Snapchat. I'm joking.
It's the only Dans. We've already talked about the only Dans.
I'm just going to subscribe to a thing, guys. 1 second.
It's interesting. For me, I've just been lucky enough to have like friends in the circle, I guess, you know, and then be invited to, like, say, you know, as I mentioned earlier, like the Method event, but I also did a event with Red Bull, and I made some friends there and whatever. And these things just naturally happen.
Is that the limit one?
Yeah, and I make a lot of friends through stuff like this, like someone will reach out and be like, yo, Dan, do you want to be on our podcast? Like a guy called Kexman who runs Warcraft Radio or is in Warcraft Radio. I started chatting to him through that, and now we message all the time, and it's just wild, and going to events as well has been really big. Like going to BlizzCon every year has been super good. I meet a lot of cool people there.
Do you get recognized?
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh, you
Run
hate
up to you
it?
like,
Oh.
Mr. GM.
Yeah, we did this meet and greet. This was last year. We did a meet and greet. So they do this like planned meet and greet in the Hilton Hotel near the event. And I was on with my friend Corey, who is like a pretty decent streamer himself, and then my friend Jay, who won the talent contest for BlizzCon in 2017. So I'm thinking, right, I'm just gonna sit here like an idiot, and then people are gonna pull up to them and chat to them while I'm just on my phone, just waiting for no one. And the time slot came, and we're all on this one table, and I'm in the middle, and this queue was forming, and I'm like, right, they're all, they're here for them, and I literally could not fucking believe it. There was a queue for me, like a genuine queue of people, and I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Whoa.
Like, what?
That must be felt so surreal. Like
You just don't-
I'm
you
just
just
a
don't
dude
think
playing
about it, right?
WoW. Like
You just
yeah,
don't-
like
you see one view, that's like one person. That's like the
Mm.
craziest. You don't really think of it. You see like I don't know,
You've seen
say for
numbers,
example, like 10 viewers, right? You get 10 viewers on Twitch. That's 10 people. Imagine 10 people sitting behind you watching play games. Like that's mental.
yeah, yeah. When you think of it like that, all you do is just see numbers, don't you? Like it's
Yeah.
really strange. Like when you see it physically, and you're like, oh
and
god.
that was like, it was just weird. I don't think I liked it. I don't. And like,
Mhm.
because when I always go with my girlfriend. She always spots them. So we walk into the Hilton Hotel on Thursday, and the event starts on Friday. Everyone just hangs out there. And she goes, "Oh, there's someone coming over." I'm like, "No, there isn't." And this dude like runs up. He's like, "Oh, Dan." I'm like, well, "Yes."
Can we be friends?
Are you lost?
It's me, the guy that emailed you wanted to be friends. I'm here now. Let's be friends.
Run, quick. Follow for follow. Like shouting in the background.
Hashtag friend for friend.
Friend for friend.
But it's
Oh, dear.
it's super weird. It's really, really surreal and kind of strange. But that's like BlizzCon's a very, very specific event. I'll go to like MCM or EGX in the UK, and there won't be a fucking soul. They'll know me, like
Yeah.
But if I go to BlizzCon, where it's like a very specific, Blizzard World of Warcraft themed thing, there's going to be a lot of people that might have bumped into my content, at some point.
Yeah.
Unless Metallica are playing, and then you get the Metallica nuts coming over and uppercutting poor little skinny WoW fans and stuff. That was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen at a BlizzCon. It's like Metallica playing, who have their following that'll follow them throughout the whole world, regardless of where they are. They turn up, and then there's just this guy like sitting there dressed as Anduin, or something, just gets thrown into a mosh pit.
It's kind of wild, really. When I mentioned Jay, specifically Jay the Bard, so he won the talent contest, as I said, in 2017. I was in the crowd watching him with my girlfriend, and through some kind of crazy like coincidence or something, we ended up like talking, and throughout like the whole year we were like talking and stuff. Then in the 2018 BlizzCon, we went to like Universal Studios together. Like it's so crazy to me that he was literally just a random dude winning the contest in front of me. I'm like, oh, he's pretty talented. And then 365 days later, I'm literally standing with him when we're going to Universal Studios as friends.
That's
And,
crazy.
That's cool.
That's sick.
It's kind of wild how stuff like that works. And he's got me into all sorts. Like he got me into the Blizzard campus and stuff, and that was just nuts. But yeah,
Did
I don't
you
know.
stream or like BlizzCon? Did you do IRL streaming or anything like that? Did you take a phone with you, like streamed a bit or?
Last year was the first year I had a press pass for BlizzCon. I never got one before. And they said, oh, we'll give you the ticket, whatever. We haven't got anything for you planned, though. You haven't got any interviews. You haven't got any streaming slots, because they have like streaming booths there. So I just didn't think I was doing anything. So I'm like, okay, cool, free ticket, fantastic. And so I'm wandering about, and then on like 2 hours before, I had a message from him just saying, "Yo, Dan, do you want to stream tomorrow morning?" I'm like, "Yeah, you damn right, dude." And then like the next day, I'd streamed, and then like as I finished streaming, they go, "Oh, we've got an interview for you in 2 hours." I'm like, "Are you fucking serious? Like in 2 hours? Like, how am I going to prepare for that?"
Who's it with? What are we doing?
I didn't even have a camera, so I'm sitting. It was a group interview, and I didn't even know who these guys were. Like they were obviously WoW devs, but I didn't know what they did. And I got in there, and I'm sitting front row with like all these other people, and I was the only ones asking questions. There might have been one other guy asking questions, but other than that, it was literally like all me. And I'm just like, you could see because I didn't have a tripod. I'm holding the camera and I'm like shaking. All my comments are like, "Wow, this is terrible." I'm like, "Well,"
You're like, no. It's
Was
that
there an
effect.
earthquake?
It's that Blair Witch goes to BlizzCon effect.
yeah. So it was kind of wild.
That's so surreal though. Like having that mental image saying, "I'm just gonna go have a good time," and then boom, streaming interview. Like
the interview,
I'm not
yeah,
just-
the stream was crazy. Like, it was one of my, I think in 17 when I went the first time, I took a picture of that booth and tweeted it saying, one day I'll do this. And then like 2 years later, I was doing it. I was like,
what? That's surreal. That's
Good.
cool.
And I guess that's not a thing that you think about when you start making videos or you start jumping up and down on trampolines and things. It's just these things that sort of come your way, and it is we were talking about the follow for follow thing, and it's, I guess a few people will probably be saying to themselves, well, what else do I do?
Mhm.
I need to try and grow somehow. And I watch a lot of I don't know if you do, but or what you think of him, but I watch a lot of Devin Nash. I think Devin Nash I think he's great. I just love how
brain boy. He
the
really is.
boy knows, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And
He knows his stuff.
whenever he's asked, what's your top tip for a streamer starting today, and he's like, don't.
Yeah.
He said, don't do it.
Like,
As I said before, it's so hard now. I know I'm not saying it was ever easy, but I'm saying it was a lot easier before. Especially in games
streamers,
like
right?
you guys were saying that you stream COD. Like, fuck, man.
Good
I'm
luck.
like switching it up like a game every stream. I'm like, see what works. Like, just keep going. Like variety.
And that's the thing. I mean, my friend's been streaming 2 years, and I think he's still on like 5 views or something. And then I had another friend who started streaming. He was streaming League, and he said he actually got like decent views streaming League. I'm like, what? It's like the biggest game on there. And then he said he streamed poker one day and had like 40 viewers or something. I'm like, what the like?
Chess is a thing now. Have you seen that? Like chess streamers are getting.
Chess. Oh, yeah.
Chess has
that
gone
2D sort of
crazy.
chessboard, like.
Yeah,
it's wild. And that's the tough thing for me is when people ask me like, what's your advice? I'm like, fuck knows, dude. I don't know. Like, I slate, support small streamers, but I'm like, I don't have a counter argument where I'm like, okay, but do this.
Yeah.
I guess
Because
for me,
obviously what you did is not going to work now, right? That's like...
yeah. I mean, you could always build the YouTube following up first, because as I said, it's way easy to get a video with no views and no comments. It's better on your your general health to do that. But not a lot of people want to make videos. That's the thing. They'll just I want to be a streamer. I want to do that, which is completely fine. So what I do, like personally, I have a Discord for my channel that has like X amount of people in, but I have a channel that literally is called content promotion, and I let people post their streams, post their videos, anything they want in there, and hopefully people that follow me will go in there and go, oh cool, let's check out this dude. And that's what I try to. That's what I try to do.
Hey Henry, glad to see you back in one of my streams, buddy. This is the man that always asks me to do something to prove it's not pre-recorded. Okay.
Shoe on head.
Normally it's Yoshi on head. It's
I don't have a shoe.
Yeah, I don't have my shoes here either, Henry. Sorry, pal. You're just gonna have to take this as gospel. Yeah,
we preempted this bit.
Yeah, we preempted that bit. It's funny, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to do. And one of the reasons why I moved to YouTube. I started doing a few videos and things. Like I would put this once we had done this on Twitch, whatever the subject was about, I'd kind of package up a little bit and put it on YouTube, just to see. I was more interested actually in YouTube as a piece of technology. I'm a geek, right? I love the algorithm. I love figuring out how does that work. I like the data. I like the stats. I like all this sort of stuff. And I was like, if I just put it up and don't say anything to anybody, how many views does it get? Like, what happens to it? Where does it go? And all this sort of stuff. And now I've figured out that actually moving my stream over, it's kind of grown really quickly in the last week. Well, not really quickly. I'm on 50 odd subs, but you know what I mean. It's compared to what it was, like at 7 subs or something a couple of weeks ago. And that's fun for me. That's enjoyable seeing that growth and seeing what else can I actually provide to people. Is there anything fun I can do, like different games, like the COD stuff.
To see growth, even if it's 1 follower like every 2 weeks, you're still growing. As long as you're growing, something's going well, right, and something's working.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's a trend over the total.
it's harder to get from 1 viewers to 50 viewers than it is from 50 to 100, etc. You know, from 100 to 1,000. It's really, really hard to grow. And I actually did notice something, which is a bit of a nitpick. Can you still do tags on streams? Because I'm looking at yours and it doesn't say that it has, unless mine's not picking it up.
Yes, and apparently there was something that I watched the other day, and apparently tags are nonsense now. You should do the hashtags in the descriptions.
Never ever done that.
Yeah, no, right. I'm gonna take your word for it.
I mean,
then.
I'm not saying that it doesn't work.
It was. I think it might have been Devin Nash actually.
Oh, maybe that's right.
Yeah, it was to do with, because apparently there's even something on the tags that said this won't help searchability or something.
Right.
Or discoverability. I don't know. Listen, you're the man.
I mean, I'll try.
Apparently hashtags, you can do 3 hashtags at the top that are the thing. Now I don't know. So I just
give it a go. I mean, trial and error, dude. Just
I'll do.
what
I might as well do both, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's funny actually because my job at McLaren was analytics, so like I'm obsessed, right? I will look at like trends, I will look at my data, I'll look at everything, and I kind of sometimes it doesn't help because when you look at too much into it, you're like, oh fuck, that didn't work. But like it's I love it. I used to like track everything on an Excel spreadsheet. I don't know when the last time I updated that was, but I mean, especially with the new YouTube analytics, they're amazing. I love Twitch analytics really as well. I think that stuff's really cool. But you do learn a lot. I mean, one of the cool things in YouTube, the new one, is that it tells you how many viewers are not subscribed to you that you have. And I was kind of like, fuck, man, like 75% of my viewers aren't subscribed to me. I'm like, shit. What did I do wrong?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
it's just one click.
You're good, but you're not worth that commitment. You know, it's I can imagine that.
That seems to be quite common, isn't it? You know, when I'm looking at, listening to other YouTubers and things saying that's 60 to 70% is quite common for the people that aren't subscribed, and that's just I don't get it either. But I love this sort of real time analytics. Even only having I'm like, oh, somebody's watching that right now. It's like, I wonder what bit they're at. If they just stick past a minute and a half, it gets real good.
I really like the YouTube stuff. They give you like little motivational things. Like I said, like keep it up. Your channel has got 97% more views than usual in the last 28 days. Like little inspirational stuff here and there that just tells you tells you stuff. But it's funny, like there's like it goes all the way into like average views per viewer 2.2. I'm like, okay, cool.
Really? Oh, I've not even saw that bit yet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. There's one that is revenue, right? So here's the thing. So I can see like basically like how much revenue I make from like all my views, and it's normally like a 50% cut because of ad block. So you have like you have like total views you had in a month, and then total views that you actually got monetized, and it's so little compared to it because of ad block or whatever. So it's that's the one where I'm like, shit, dude. Like if ad block didn't exist, then this would be. I'd be driving a Lambo, but like it's just how I don't blame people. I don't blame people for using ad block. I mean, I've definitely used one in the past for sure. But that's just how the beast is really these days, isn't it? But it's definitely interesting, and it said like you can dive so deep into it, but it gets to a point where you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this because this is kind of depressing me.
So, sorry guys, don't worry. Well, you'll never need to worry about ad block on my channel because I'm not monetized anyway, so you won't see anything.
You'll probably still get ads. You just won't get that in your pocket.
Yeah, I think as I get. It's only if one pops up with a copyright claim, I'm like, oh yeah, I really shouldn't have put that 20-second Venga Boys track in there. That was like, and then I'll be like, that's getting money. I was like, well, never mind. Hey ho.
Yeah.
There's a question in there I can see in chat. So have you ever thought about quitting gaming? Someone asked.
What else am I gonna do?
Just get a real job. What's one of those?
So they don't mean like gaming in general. Like just like stop like playing games and just like start, I don't know,
cooking streams,
writing up essays.
Or just chatting. Just be one of those streamers.
Just chatting.
No, I love it too much.
Yeah, it's as you say, it's like do you still enjoy it? I suppose that's the main thing. Do you still enjoy making content? Like a lot of people say, like when it starts becoming a chore, it starts becoming like a chore. Obviously, like you're just not putting the effort in. But is it getting like that now, or is it very much sort of in that sweet spot where?
It really did at one point. So when you know, in the classic stuff, it got to a point where I'm like, damn man, I'm not having fun anymore. I'm like, this sucks. Which is why I
Yeah.
ended up playing Star Wars, which gave me kind of a revigoration sort of thing. But I mean, these days I'm like, you know, I'm pumped for stream. I'm like, dude, like, you know, I'm
Yeah.
gonna, you know, have lunch a bit earlier today so I can start earlier and, you know, start
Yeah.
going. 'Cause I've been really enjoying the growth, really enjoying the interaction and all the stuff that we've been doing on stream with the beta and whatever has been like super fun. Like you
Oh,
can't,
good.
it's getting to a point now. I mean, it's not going to last forever, but like where I don't know what's going to happen on the stream, right? It's going to be wild. There's going to be
Yeah.
like I'm going to find something or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I
suppose
feel
it's
like
good for you though, because it's like then you're getting enjoyment out of it. It's not a planned schedule. It's kind of like, well, we'll just see what
Exactly.
happens, and then if it goes good, it goes good. Like,
I think that kind of answers one of the questions in the chat as well. There, when asked, is it better to stream with context or just go with it? I guess you're saying it's a bit of both, really. Starts out with a bit of a plan, or
yeah, I like to have a general, you know, a general idea of what I'm going to do that day. Just like I'll think of it like, you know, over lunch, be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this today. But you know, it doesn't always work out. We always end up doing like, for example, like the other day when we did this dungeon boosting thing, we found this bug, and that was just pure coincidence. I was just like running something, and I was like, "Oh crap, we found a bug!" I'm like, "Let's just abuse it," and then just like, like 4 hours like abusing it, and ended up getting
That's
off
amazing.
Wowhead and stuff, which was kind of nuts.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it was it's just wild and it's fun. But with, you know, getting larger, I've definitely said, you know, to my mods and stuff, like we've noticed that the more people that come in, you always get so many more bad eggs. Like we've had so many assholes come in and just be a dick for the most part, and it sucks.
Just because
but
they can, you know, like
it's just like I think it's just natural, right? You have like more people, there's genuinely going to be more like bad eggs inside that group of people.
yeah,
So that's been kind of a bit, you know, terrible. We've had to recruit a few more mods for that kind of stuff, but they're on top of it. You know, if someone's coming in, like they're going to start like, you know, saying like racist shit and like that, you just get rid of them. Like it's just not worth it.
when did you decide? Okay, now it's time to have a mod.
My first mod.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny. I still do most of it myself. Like I just because I always have the chat up and I'm always reading it. I'll like, okay, off you pop.
Cheerio.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I never had any on YouTube. I had like 3 on YouTube. That was about it. And they weren't very active. So as I said, like I manage it. Like they normally pick up stuff, but I'll normally catch it first because I'm just like constantly on it. Like they're normally, they'll be doing other stuff. That's not their job. You know, they have a life. But yeah, it's I mean, I don't have a ton. I don't have an army. You know, there's this cool community. I guess they won't mind me talking about it. In the WoW community specifically, one of the dudes who mods for Asmongold has made this like massive community of streamers and mods and stuff, and we have like this actual blacklist of people where like, you know, someone's spurting out a load of racist stuff in a channel, they'll be put in that, and because we have like this massive network of people who are all modding every channel, they'll just get blacklisted for every WoW channel. And beyond.
Wow, that's it. Yeah.
So
just copy and paste the /ban. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
It's a super good group of people because, well, you know, it's that blacklist channel is terrible because it's full of like, you know, people being racist, whatever. But you see the names and you just, you know, every now and then I'll be streaming, and then because one of the guys in there is one of my mods, I'll just get this like massive like ban wave. I'm like, who are these people being banned?
That was me. He was on it. It was asking him, would you still be streaming if it wasn't for WoW from Anna?
That's a good question. Yeah.
So it's funny. I tweeted this out the other day. I have a few loves in life. One is World of Warcraft. Another is Pokemon. Another is wrestling. And what's the other one? There was another one. That was pretty much it. Actually, that's pretty much all I like.
I've got 3 loves in my life. But I could only think of 2.
That was pretty much it. And it was kind of like, yeah, if I didn't do the WoW stuff, I'd probably make a wrestling channel, or or Pokemon or some sort of like, you know. I guess it's just stuff that I know a lot about because I'm just a loser, I guess. But
I love a bit of the wrestling. I love a bit. I've not watched it in a while, but I loved. I watched. This is totally off topic, but I used to, you know, as everybody did when they were a kid, and then some kind, and you still watch it yourself. I watched the Undertaker documentary series of documentaries.
Oh, the Last Ride one.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Pretty good.
It was fascinating. It's again, I mean, it's kind of similar to this in a way because I'm interested in how people that have been successful in whatever their chosen field has been got there, what things are like behind the scenes, the preparation they do, the problems they face, all this sort of stuff. And I thought it was really, really open to somebody that's, you know, a mega star. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of humbling to see them actually in real life, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
it's Scottish. I'm surprised you don't go to like an ICW show. I guess
No.
like, you know, it's not going to happen these days, but you know.
No. It's
Yeah.
there was a friend of mine who was really big into that. But no, not me. But no, as you say, nothing happens now. We're not allowed to go anywhere in Scotland.
Well, yeah. I
Sad
suppose that
times.
hasn't really changed much for you, has it, Dan? Just still streaming.
It's actually
Still
just
doing my
been
thing?
it's been pretty good. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, everybody's at
Suppose,
home,
yeah,
are they?
yeah, there's nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Bored. What can I find on the internet? Oh,
Ooh,
Fellows,
who's this
my
guy streaming?
following list. It was wonderful.
Oh, amazing.
Well, it's
Amazing.
a lot of people. I mean, I am, I'm a GM and I'm a raid leader in my guild, my WoW guild, and it's made it so much easier to organize raids. You know,
Because everyone's at home.
it really has made it so much easier to organize raids. Suddenly, you've got a huge group of people to pick from, and like, we're going to progress really well the next few weeks. But then the last couple of weeks, it's been a bit like suddenly the sun's come out and lockdown stopped for a lot of different countries, and suddenly it's like, right, boys, we're calling it until Shadowlands, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
back to
calling
reality.
It was interesting actually. I mean, I lost obviously a lot of income through like events being cancelled or whatever, but then I kind of gained it back through people being at not at work and stuff. So it's been kind of interesting, and yeah, as you said, for me, like nothing's really changed, honestly. Like all it is like there's a few more people in my house.
Yeah.
That's really about it for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I don't really like so me and my girlfriend have 2 cars, and we're moving in together like very soon. And she was like, "Oh, are we do we need 2 cars?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I think we do." And she's like, "You were in lockdown for 7 weeks and your car didn't move once." I'm like, "Okay, maybe you're right."
I like
Maybe
to
we
have
should
the
do that.
option to drive.
But I could have done if I wanted to. It was the end of the world. You're going to need a car, right? You know, just in
exactly,
case.
right?
Have you not
Get
seen a
them
zombie
beams
movie? They always need a car.
I know.
No.
You just need to outrun the rest. That's the.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Like,
It's not a case of just outrun the slow ones. That's it. What's your have you got any sort of plans for the future in terms of growth? Are you just letting things roll with it? Where are you going with that?
I know that the beta stuff is obviously going to run its course. A lot of people come in the stream because they're like, "Oh man, he's doing beta." You know, not everyone's in the beta, all that kind of stuff. And the game's going to release. So I know that I'm going to see a drop, and that's just kind of natural progression. So I'm kind of like preparing myself for that, like financially, especially. And as I said, I'm buying a house as well, so that's obviously going to suck. But yeah, so I don't know, really. I just kind of roll with the punches. Like I kind of have like it's like a full cycle now because I went full time during the Battle for Azeroth Alpha, which was the last expansion. And I've kind of had a whole cycle of like, alpha to beta to release to the different patches and stuff. So I'm just going to repeat that because it seemed to work last time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I know that it's going to have a drop at release. And then, once the next thing comes onto like the test realm, I'll do that. And then people will come back or whatever. Like, and I don't know, but like the last couple of weeks have just been so insane in growth that I genuinely think that I think someone might be view buying me.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's just been freaking nuts, especially on Twitch. I just don't know what's been going on. Like every day has been like crazier than the last. Like every stream I've been having these days, and it sounds really like big-headed and egotistical, but it's just one of those things. It's just like every stream that I've been doing recently has been better than the last, and I'm just like, how is this? Like, is this real life? Like, is this actually happening?
Yeah.
I guess
This
the
could
good thing as
This
well.
could be a hit though. Like
Shadowlands
like
is
you've worked hard for it. Like you deserve it, dude. Honestly, like if you obviously the amount of effort and stuff you're saying you put into it and stuff, obviously you're gonna get that trend. And if it just keeps going up recently, it's only gonna keep getting better. Hopefully,
Shadowlands is such a hype thing as well, isn't it? Which is it's really enticed a lot of people, and having people like yourself and others in the community there, it's certainly going to be a bit of a boon.
Yeah, and I think the best part of it, as I said before, is like when I grow, I can help my friends grow as well, right? And that's kind of the important thing where I got to give back to the people that watch me for hours and hours and on end or whatever, and just kind of stuck by me through the shit. And like, it feels really good to do that. And I have a few friends that were kind of on the same level as me streaming, and somehow, some way, I've gone a bit larger than them. where I'll just drop the host to them. Like the last couple of days, like my friend Corey, he's been trying something new in his stream. He's been like not streaming World of Warcraft so much. He's been like doing like just chatting stuff, and I'm like, all right, he's trying something new. I know what it's like to do that. It sucks. You're going to see a drop. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to send everyone over there and see if they like it, sort of thing. So
that's good. I think that's important as well. It's there's a lot of thought. I think I don't know what it is. In fact, yeah, I do know what it is. It's just pure jealousy, I think, from a lot of people. I think it just comes down to that. There's a lot of jealousy and resentment when you see some things, whether it's on Twitter or on Discords and stuff, like, these big streamers, they'll never raid a small streamer, they're this and that. And you're like, well, you're not entitled to it just because you happen to be a small, stop with this entitlement.
There was a small streamer one time.
They were a small streamer, and they've done things better and probably are doing things better than you're doing it, But it's ideas, Sorry.
And that's the thing, as I said, like the smaller streamers are normally, their content is always so good. I find that a lot of people who actually do streaming part-time have better equipment than me. Like, I'm like, because they have a full-time job, but they also stream as well. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Got like these mics, they got mixers, crazy lights. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sitting here on my bloody bedroom.
I've still got my iToy mic.
My fucking iToy mic. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It's
but I feel like, especially like, I'd like to I think if a stream's good, it will just grow naturally, right? If you go into, like, this comes back to the mate either message you on Instagram, because he said to me that he wanted to be a full-time streamer. Like, that was his dream. And I understand that, but the reason he went into streaming was purely financial. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to go into streaming like wanting to be a millionaire, that is the worst attitude you could have. You do it as a passion and it turns into your career, right? And that's what you want to do. If you're going in and you're like, right, I want to get donations, I want to get subs, I want to get big, I want to be the next Asmongold, Dr. Disrespect, whoever, right? That's going to be the worst way of going about it. These things happen naturally. It's
exactly.
I'm stupidly lucky to be in a position that I'm in.
It's like the modern day Hollywood, isn't it? How back everybody wanted to go to Hollywood and be an actor and be famous and have and have millions and millions of dollars, and not for the love of acting or the love of the whatever, or because they enjoy that. And it's a similar sort of thing. People just think, and that's why it's sort of the title of the stream is, people do see things as it's just easy. You're just sitting playing games. But as you said yourself, and we've seen it, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, thinking about things. How are you going to approach it? Dealing with all sorts of other anxieties and stresses that come along with it. And I guess it doesn't matter how big or small that you are within the sort of cycle. Well, it's not even a cycle within the community. You have the same problems, whether it's right, what content are we going to be doing? How are we going to be doing this? Blah, blah, blah. Am I going to keep doing World of Warcraft stuff? That's why I'm thinking. Although I am going for a World of Warcraft world record, an official Guinness World Record.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, Guinness have got back to me with rules. No, it's not. It's surprisingly, it's the longest World of Warcraft marathon.
So it's funny you say that. I have a friend who runs an esports team called Diablos.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how it's pronounced. And he did a 48-hour stream of WoW.
Yeah.
Constant. I think it's 50 in the end, actually.
Yeah.
So he actually set the record.
He did.
Can you have breaks? So surely, like every 2 hours, have a nap, or
there's
your mental.
You've got to keep going, because I put my thing into Guinness for it, because you've got to apply to Guinness to do a thing to get it official. And at the time, the record was 32 hours or 34 hours, something like that. And I was like, I think that's doable. I've done shift work, right? I've done night shifts. I could probably do that. And then I did hear that somebody else had hit 48 or something, and I was like, motherfucker. I was like, all right, okay.
Now you got to go 60, bro. You got to do 20 hours.
I'll just have to. Well, I don't know. I can't. I mean,
Red Bull.
if we can level from to 60 in 3 hours now, damn, what are we gonna do? I was gonna just level the whole time, You messed it up for all of us.
Don't worry about it.
You have a lot of characters.
Yeah.
No, I think the dude that did it for Diablos was doing every dungeon and raid in the game, which I thought was quite a good idea.
Yeah, that was my plan as well. That was the plan.
Cool.
I was going to start with Molten Core and work my way through.
There's a lot to do. Yeah. It'll keep you occupied, but I think I'm just too old to stay up late. Like I stay up a little bit later than normal. I'm just fucked. I'm just.
Yeah,
I have friends that are like in America,
next
and like
day.
I always find it's always my American degenerate friends who will like stay up all night. They're like, I'm like, oh, how? Like I'll wake up at like I don't know, like 7:30, and they'll message me like, yo, I'm like, have you been to sleep? They're like, no. I'm like,
Like waiting for you to go live. I go
Yeah,
live in
they
8
just-
hours. What are you doing? Like,
just
Sounds like
nuts, like,
Hearthstone players. You ever met Hearthstone players? Hearthstone players stay up forever. I don't know what it is. Anybody that I know that plays Hearthstone seems to never sleep.
they're all machines.
Yeah, they're
They're
all
all
machines.
androids, mate.
I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Hearthstone androids.
Yeah. But no, that's been awesome. Guys, have you guys got any final questions or final thoughts?
No, pretty much covered everything. No, like
As-
as I said before, thanks for your time. Like,
Nah,
honestly.
that's
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
I
thank
love
you
it.
very
Like
much.
as I said, like I love giving back. You know, I try to reply to everyone that messages me. I try to reply to everyone that messages me because I know it takes like it's sometimes people are like, oh man, should I message them? Like, do I feel rude doing it and stuff like that? Will I even get a reply? And as I said, everyone's been there once. I've messaged bigger people in the past and stuff, and who haven't got
Yeah.
back to me. I'm like, what a dick. Like, I don't want to be that. I want to be the guy
Yeah.
that replies to people and is just like super nice and stuff. And that's kind of the what I want to be known for. To be the guy who just doesn't ignore everyone and stuff. Because as I said, I know what it's like to be smaller and whatever and trying to grow. And I know like a stream like this, and I'm not big by any stretch, but putting me in a tweet or whatever, or putting me on an title, whatever, might help a little bit, and then that's kind
It's
of
a boon, yeah.
and that's what it's all about, really.
No, much
So-
appreciated. No, Dan, thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. It's been interesting because it's I'd say a different side that you don't hear about that often. Coming straight from somebody. You get the odd YouTube video where people say, "My top 5 tips on how to grow as a streamer." And it's like,
I'll be a millionaire.
and you're like,
Network,
shut up,
Yeah.
motherfuckers. Like, honestly,
Keep talking.
Harris Heller, I love you, but that hair's doing my head in. Stop it. Like, but no, much appreciate, Dan. I really do. And the guys that have stuck around, that have come in, thank you. This will obviously be there for anybody that's just joined recently. It'll be up on YouTube, so you can catch from the start if you need it. If you need to catch that. And we'll be back again with other topics and other bits and pieces within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Anything else from anybody?
No, good. All good
All
for
good?
me.
Perfect. Thanks, Guayaquil. All right, McLeod, Toasty, Dan, thank you very much, boys. You guys have a lovely
very
night.
much.
Easy.
I'll catch you later.
Cheers.
Everybody else, see you later.
See you later.
Bye.